Hello and welcome back to SSBCrack exams. I am Anuradha, and in this particular session I am back with a very important notification that the Indian Army has published just today. And yes, you heard me right, it is TES 47 entry or Technical Entry Scheme 47th course. That's going to begin in July 2022. The notification has been published by the Indian Army, and in this particular session, I, Anuradha, will be telling you about certain important things you need to keep in your mind, certain things that you need to check before you start applying for this particular test entry. So let's look into what this notification is all about. The test, that is 10 plus 2 entry 47 notification 2022, has been published by the Indian Army for those candidates who have completed their 12th standard with PCM or Physics, Chemistry, Mathematics with an aggregate of 60% marks. So please note down the aggregate marks that you need to score in your 12th class in order to apply for this particular entry. The online applications for Technical Entry Scheme 47th course will be open from today, that is 24th of January, and it will continue till 23rd of February 2022. The online application for this entry will be available on the official website of the Indian Army, that is www.joinindianarmy.nic.in. So I would request all of you guys who have been waiting for this particular entry to start applying from today. Now, we will also look into who all those can apply for test 10 plus 2 entry for the 47th July 2022 course. First of all, this application is for the unmarried male candidates who have passed their 10 plus 2 examination with physics, chemistry and maths or PCM subjects for the grant of permanent commission in the army after 4 years of basic military training and technical training. The applicants are also required to fill only the common rank list, that is CRL rank, that you have obtained in the JEE Mains 2021 for the BE or BTech course in the application form. So it is mandatory that you have applied for and sat for the JEE Mains 2021 examination. So this is one of the most important and mandatory criteria for applying into this test entry 47th course 2022. Now, let's look into the eligibility criteria, without which application for any entry is obviously looking into anything blindly. So I would suggest all of you guys who have been waiting for this entry to check your eligibility criteria properly before applying for test 47 entry. Your age limit should be between 16 and a half to 19 and a half years. This may sound confusing to you, but the notification, official notification of this entry has already mentioned about the date of births you need to consider. That is, you should not be born between before 2nd January 2003 and not after 1st January 2006. That means your date of birth should be between 2nd January 2003 and 1st January 2006. However, in these both the dates, your date of birth can also be applicable. That is, your date of birth, if it is on 2nd Jan 2003 or 1st Jan 2006, you will be applicable for this particular entry. Let's look into your educational qualifications. So only those candidates who have passed 10 plus 2 examination or its equivalent with a minimum aggregate of 60% marks in PCM, that is physics, chemistry and mathematics, from any recognized education boards are eligible to apply for this entry. But not only that, there are certain important criteria also to keep in mind. That is, the eligibility condition for calculating PCM percentage of various state or central boards will be based on the marks obtained in class 12 only. That means, guys, that if you are confused about which of the marks that you need to calculate aggregate on, it should only be the marks that you got in your class 12. Do not include class 11 marks as well. Another most important and the mandatory thing for this particular entry is to appear for JEE Mains 2021. Just as I've already described to you, the CRL number should be put in the application form for this entry. Therefore, JEE Mains 2021 is mandatory for test 47 entry course. Alright, so keeping in mind these important things, now it's time for you to know about the vacancies for test entry 47 July 2022 course. The vacancies for this entry is 90 only. 90 is the vacancies for the TES 47th entry. Now, the vacancies are provisional and can be changed depending on the training capacity at the training academy for this course. The vacancies can also increase and decrease keeping the organizational requirement at the point of time. So, this is a provisional vacancy that is available through this entry and it is 90 in number. So now we will move on to the selection procedure. Now, as you know, it's a direct entry scheme. That is, you don't need to sit for any written examination specific to the defense services. You just have to, while filling up the application form, keep in mind the eligibility criteria and just have to, talk about, put the SERL rank that is you have got in the JEE Mains 2021, and then obviously you have to wait for your shortlisting, which will be done by the integrated headquarters of Ministry of Defence in Army, who reserves the right to shortlist applications based on the cutoff percentage applied as decided. Now, if you are shortlisted, the center allotment will be intimated to you online, especially through email. So make sure that you are not changing your email ID as soon as you are applying for this particular entry. After allotment of selection centers, you will have to log in to the official website of the Army and then you have to select your SSB dates on the first come first serve basis. Now, after shortlisting of applications, if you are shortlisted, you will be called for the SSB interview. So, only shortlisted eligible candidates, depending on the cutoff percentage, will undergo SSB at one of the selection centers, either at Allahabad, Bhopal, Bangalore or Kapurthala. And the SSB process will be carried on by a psychologist, group testing officer and interviewing officer. The call-up letter for SSB interview will be issued by the respective selection centers on candidates' registered email ID and SMS only. Again, a small reminder to those of you who are planning to change your email ID or your phone number, do not do that until and unless you are getting a confirmation from the SSB centers, because whatever information the SSB centers will be sending to you, it will be only through your registered email ID and mobile number. That is the SMS they will be sending you into your registered mobile number. So do not change them. Okay. Now, moving on to the next selection procedure after SSB, if you are recommended, your name will be there in the merit list. So, it must be noted that the mere qualifying at the SSB interview does not confirm the final selection. You have to wait for the merit list, which will be prepared on the basis of the marks that you have obtained at SSB interview. So, candidates who are recommended by the SSB and declared medically fit, because you also have to go for a medical examination when you are recommended at the SSB, you will be issued joining letter for training in the order of merit depending on the number of vacancies available. So this is a long selection procedure that you have to wait for, but the primary thing is SSB interview, guys, because there is no written examination. You have to give your full heart while preparing for SSB. For that, we have brought for you a great solution, and that is you can access our SSB interview online course that we have provided for your benefit through our app. So download our SSBCrack exams learning app from the Google Play Store, and then you can get yourself enrolled into the SSB interview online course, which is a comprehensive course. Here you will find from day 1 to day 5 whatever takes place in the SSB interview being very greatly taught and understood by all our top-notch recommended tutors. Also, not only that, if you are applying for this particular entry and enrolling yourself to this particular SSB interview online course that we have provided for you through the app, you will also get a chance to be a part of the monthly batches that we conduct, live batches where you can interact face to face with our top-notch recommended tutors and get yourself all the clarifications and doubt solutions. So you can check out all the important sections that have been there inside the SSB interview online course, starting with the OIR test and PPDT, which forms the screening test, and then we have psych test, which forms the stage 2 of this SSB procedure, and then the personal interview guidance is also there, the group tasks are there, conference, medical, everything, whatever has been done in SSB is being included in this particular online course. So I would recommend you to start applying for the TES 47th course, and as soon as you have applied, to also get yourself enrolled into SSB interview online course and start your preparation today. So now we will move on to the next important thing to keep in mind is procedure for common candidates. That is those candidates who are applying for both TES and NDA entry. Okay, so there are certain procedures which can be common. So let's look into what are those procedures. Candidates who apply for 10+2 technical entry scheme, that is TES 47, and National Defense Academy, that is NDA and NA parallel courses, need to undergo a medical examination by a board of service medical officers for the entries recommended. So medical examination is needed for those candidates who are applying for both TES and NDA entry. Candidates who have been recommended for the TES before they have been recommended in their NDA SSB will have to undergo a medical test for both TES and NDA. This is applicable only for Air Force and Navy. So if you are going for Air Force or Navy entry, you have to go through a medical examination if you are recommended in TES entry before being recommended in the NDA SSB. Now for those of you whose preference was NDA Army, the TES candidates need not undergo NDA medical again. Right, so the NDA medical examination will begin only after the candidate is declared fit in the TES medical. So these very small things you have to keep in mind. Also, candidates who are recommended in NDA prior to their TES entry need not undergo medical for TES separately. So if you are already been recommended in the NDA SSB before you've been recommended in the TES entry, you need not undergo any kind of separate medical examination for TES. The medical status for TES will be same as NDA medical examination, and therefore if you are declared unfit for NDA, you will be declared unfit for TES. So this is the small disadvantage that you have, along with a great advantage for those of you who are applying for both TES and NDA entry. I hope this criteria is quite clear to you, and I will move on to the next thing, which is training. Now the training, the number of days that you need to go for training for the TES entry 47th course is can be divided into two types. One is the basic military training, and it consists of 1 year at OTA Gaya. Okay, so first of all, you will be going for a basic military training at OTA Gaya, which will consist of 1 year. After that, you will be going for technical training. So there are two phases of technical training. The first phase, which is also known as the pre-commission training, it will be a training for 3 years, and you will be trained either at the College of Military Engineering in Pune, or you will be trained in the Military College of Telecommunication Engineering Mau, or in the Military College of Electronics and Mechanical Engineering in Sikandrabad. Okay, so after your completion of the first phase, that is pre-commission training for 3 years, you will be then sent for the phase 2 of the technical training, which is also known as the post-commission training, and it will only be of 1 year. Again, you will be trained either at CME Pune or MCTE Mau or MCEME Sikandrabad. Now after that, a final examination will take place. You have to appear in that final examination, and then you will be awarded the engineering degree after the successful completion of the final examination. Okay, now we will move on to the next, and that is certain things that you need to consider for the TES entry 47 July 2022 course. What will be the type of commission for this entry? On successful completion of 4 years of the course, cadets will be granted permanent commission in the army, and the first rank that you will get will be in the rank of lieutenant. After that, seniority will be provided to you on overall order of merit of the 3 technical institutes combined, that is CME, MCTE, MCME, and in case the date of commissioning coincides with that of IMA Dehradun, you will be placed en bloc junior to IMA, that is NDA, ACC or DE course, but above TGC or UES course. Okay, now moving on to the next important criteria, or I would say the most important thing that you need to keep in your mind for this particular session, and that is how to apply for the TES entry 47 course. Now that you have known about the eligibility criteria, the training years that you need to concentrate in, and also what will be the selection procedure, what are the common criteria for both TES and NDA entry cadets, it is time for you to know how you can start applying for this entry, right? So first thing you need to remember is this application for the entry will be completely based on online. So it will be accepted only through the online application procedure. Now how you can start applying? You need to click on the online application button by going into the official website of the Indian Army, which is www.joinindianarmy.nic.in. So go to that website, click on online application, and then you can start applying for this particular TES entry. Also, let's look into some of the dates Very important dates for the TES entry 47 July 2022 course, and I would suggest you to note this down. The application date for this particular TES 47 entry is from today. The application has already started, which is 24th January 2022. So the Indian Army has published the official notification for TES 47th entry today, and the application process has also started from today, that is 24th January 2022. The last date to submit your online application for TES 47th entry is 23rd February 2022. So 23rd February is the last date. So I would recommend you to start applying early on. Then the SSB dates for this particular entry will be declared April 2022 onwards, and then your merit list for this particular entry will be published around June 2022. So make sure that you are noting down these very important dates, those of you who are interested to apply for the TES 47th entry. Another thing guys, that if you want to know about anything in more detail, okay, I would suggest you to check the link in the description box below, and by clicking onto the link you can also open the official notification and check out the more important things in more detail in the official notification itself. So now that you have understood what are the things that you need to consider before applying for this particular TES 47th entry, I would also suggest that once you have applied for this entry, to start your SSB interview preparation as soon as possible, since it's the only way that you can get insight through this particular entry. For that, you need to download our SSBCrack exams app from the Google Play Store and then get yourself enrolled into SSB interview online course, where you'll also get an opportunity to interact face to face with our top-notch recommended tutors in live classes which are held on monthly batch basis. Also, not only that, inside the course you will find from SSB day 1 to day 5 comprehensive package that will help you to understand how to crack the SSB interview more effectively and very confidently. Not only that guys, if you are also preparing for any other defense examination which are written examination, I would suggest you to check out through our app the other written defense examination courses that we have provided. So all these you can access only through our app. So download our SSBCrack exams app today and use the code warrior10 to get an extra 10% off on all the courses. So that was it guys from my side for this particular TES 47th entry. For those of you who were waiting to apply for this entry, your wait is over. Start applying as soon as possible. Also start getting yourself enrolled into SSB interview online course and start preparation for your SSB as soon as possible. And I will see you next with something more interesting and helpful for your defense related examinations and SSB interview. Till then everyone, stay positive, stay motivated and always stay tuned with SSBCrack exams. Jai Hind.